In this video, I'd like to talk about a wave of social housing that is spreading across the UK and destroying its once beautiful countryside. This rottenness is occurring throughout the UK, but let's take a look at one example in the county West Lothian, and specifically the town of Livingston, the cultural and fair trade town of Scotland. Don't make me laugh. Livingston is a good example because it falls under SNP governance, and in 2017 their own Big Brother newsletter boasted of them building 800 new social homes. That's 800 in just 1 year. So let's take a closer look. Just bear in mind that social housing used to be described as housing for those at the sharp end. Just bear that in mind as we make our way through this video. I'll examine 3 different housing schemes that have popped up within the last couple of years. The first photograph is from the Almond region. Note the nice and expensive monobrick drives for cars. In this case, we see an example of the latest model of the Volkswagen Beetle, a soft top. These cars will set you back 20,000. Maybe that car owner is visiting, but are all 4 vehicles visiting? Why build social housing with spaces, monobrick spaces, for vehicles? The next example is taken from the Dedridge area. This housing scheme is just in the process of being complete as of 9 November 2018. Look nice, don't they? Note once again the nice and costly monobrick drives. Could you afford that? Note the fully loaned areas. Many privately built homes don't come with that. A nice waste of money, but no expense spared for social housing. Not in the SNP's vision. Spot the 3 cars in the photo? What's the total value of that? 20, 30, 40 grand? And here's another photograph from just up the road of a £30,000 4x4 in the drive. Can you afford one of those? And here's a shot of a row of the newly built homes. See any for sale signs? Nah. See any show home? No. Why? Because they don't exist. This is all social housing, all funded by the taxpayer, but not for the taxpayer. Note the beautifully monobricked road. What an unnecessary waste. I could spend weeks showing such photographs, but let's finish with just one more set, this time of newly built social housing near the grounds of Livingston Football Club and the little supermarket. Here we see another row of houses in the process of completion. See any for sale signs or show home? And here's a couple of photographs from across the road. Satellite dishes. It's a nice touch. Can you afford £500 a year satellite Sky TV? And here's another row of newly built homes from the opposite side of the little supermarket. See any for sale signs or show home? No, because they don't exist. And don't think for a moment that what I've shown you here is the sum of it. It's the tip of the iceberg. On West Lothian's own website it states, and I quote, "The council is committed to building 3,000, that is 3,000 homes by 2022. That is just 4 years away. So what's going down? This is going on all around the UK on a massive scale. It's part of a massive reprogramming of the UK to accommodate mass migration. When you allow 550,000 migrants into the UK each year, or 5.5 million every 10 years, where are they all going to live? Are they going to sleep on the streets? No. The government has worked out a plan that involves you paying for it. It's called social housing. And there are no for sale signs or show homes because they have complete control over it. You have no say, although you are paying for it. Let's do some postcard calculations. Yes, they're approximate, but they won't be far off. Also, always do your own calculations and don't believe the bullshit propaganda that you are fed. So, we've got 800 new social houses in 2017 in Livingston. But let's be generous and take the lower bound value of, say, 500 a year for each of the 100 UK counties for England, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales. Let's again take a lower bound estimate of the cost of building a new house of £75,000. And this is generous when one factors in the cost of the roads, the pavement, the sewers, the street lighting and so on. So we've got 100 counties times 500 new homes a year, each costing £75,000, which is £3.75 billion a year. And over a 10-year period, that's costing the taxpayer £40 billion. So let's place this into context. In 2017-18, the average council tax bill was £1,671 for Band D. So we divide our total cost of £3.75 billion by this average council tax cost, and we arrive at 2.2 million homes. That's 2.2 million homes are paying for this social housing programme. Not that long ago there was 22 million homes in the UK. Apparently it is now 25 million. So at 2.2 million relative to 25 million throughout the UK, we see that approximately 1/10 of all council tax funding is being used for the building of new social housing. Just think about that next time you fork out £220 a month on your council tax bill. 500 counties, each building 500 new social houses a year, is 50,000 new homes. On average, there are 200,000 new homes built in the UK each year. Thus, we are seeing at the moment that a quarter of all new built homes are for social housing. Let's have a few observations. Try emigrating to Bali, Australia or New Zealand. It's quite easy on the internet. You can go to these countries' immigration websites, you can download the application forms and look at the criteria that's required. And you will have to ensure that you do not take a home off a native person. And this will probably result in you having to build a new home. And here's the key. You emigrate to Bali and you take with you your cash into the Bali economy to build a new home. But no, not here in the UK. Let 500,000 migrants into the UK each year and allow them to freely walk in from the EU, and don't impose any requirements on housing provision, their bank balance, healthcare provision and so on. The indigenous UK taxpayer is funding the housing for foreigners. Why pay for the construction of your home in, say, Poland, when you can just make your way to the UK and we'll build a brand new home for you? Now, not all social housing is for immigrants, but a lot of it is at the moment. Just imagine if you earn less than £11,500, you're going to contribute zero income tax, approximately zero national insurance, and zero employer's national insurance. And you're going to contribute zilch towards the cost of the newly built social house that you live in. And this is just the start of the social support. It continues once the people have moved in. A social dependency that will be passed down to your grandchildren. Isn't social housing for people at the sharp end? How can anybody justify people moving in to newly built social homes when you see a £5,000, £10,000, £20,000, £30,000 vehicle parked in the drive. Vehicles that maybe cost £200 a month on credit plans, and vehicles that cost £29 for the MOT, £85 road tax, £200 plus insurance, £6 a gallon for petrol, and so on, and all the repair costs. It's all bullshit, and the indigenous UK citizen is being screwed.